The snow had started falling 3 days earlier, soft at first, like whispers against the pines. By the second night, it was a howling white wall, the kind that erases trails, compass points, and hope. 4 of us had driven up from Kokomo into the northern reaches of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. Me, my brother Caleb, his girlfriend Mara, and our old college buddy Derek, who swore he knew these woods better than his own backyard. We were chasing a story, not the tourist kind, the kind people only tell after too much whiskey, in low voices, glancing at the windows. Locals called it the Wendigo, or Wendigo, depending on who you asked, a thing born from hunger. Not just empty stomachs, but the kind of hunger that makes you look at the people you love and see meat. They said once you tasted human flesh, even to survive, it claimed you. Your body stretched tall and thin, skin pulled tight over bones like gray parchment, eyes burning yellow or red. And the hunger never left. It only grew. We laughed it off on the drive up. Derek had printed forum posts, blurry trail cam shots, Reddit threads from hunters who swore they'd seen something too tall to be a man, too fast to be a bear. It's just hypothermia plus cabin fever, Mara said, rolling her eyes. Caleb nodded, but I noticed he kept checking the rifle in the back seat. We rented a cabin 20 miles past the last plowed road. No power except the generator. No cell service, no neighbors. Perfect, Derek said. Authentic. The first night, nothing happened. We drank, played cards, told stupid ghost stories. The wind rattled the shutters like impatient fingers. The second night, the generator died. We blamed bad fuel. Caleb and Derek bundled up to check it outside, while Mara and I stayed by the wood stove. That was when the smell came. Not rot, not wet dog. Something metallic and sweet, like blood warmed on a hot skillet, undercut by wet pine needles and frostbitten meat left too long. It seeped under the door cracks. Mara wrinkled her nose. Something died out there. Then we heard the footsteps. Heavy, slow, circling the cabin. Each one cracked the snow crust like breaking bone. We froze. The steps paused at the back wall, then scraped upward. Long, deliberate drags, as if enormous hands were feeling along the logs, testing for weakness. Caleb burst back in, face white. The generators trashed. Wires torn, like something bit through them. Derek followed, eyes wide. There are tracks. Huge. Long feet. No claws, just toes. Too many toes. We barred the door with the kitchen table. Loaded the rifle. Waited. Around 3 a.m., the wind stopped. Dead silence. Then a voice, thin, scraping, almost human but stretched over too many vocal cords, called from outside. Caleb. My brother jerked upright. That sounded like. It called Mara's name next. Then Derek's. Then mine. Each time in a perfect imitation of our own voices, but pitched wrong, like a recording played too slow. Mara started crying quietly. It knows our names. We didn't sleep. Dawn came gray and weak. The tracks were still there, impossibly long strides, 1 foot in front of the other in a single file, circling tighter and tighter. Each print was nearly 3 feet long, narrow, with 5 toes that bent backward at the joints. We decided to hike out. The road was 5 miles. We could make it before dark if we moved fast. Half a mile from the cabin, we found the first ear. It had been strung up by its own entrails, hung from a pine like a grotesque ornament. The rib cage was splayed open, heart missing. No blood on the snow beneath it. Whatever did this had drunk it all. Derek vomited. Mara stared too long. We kept walking. The second mile the trees grew thicker, the path narrower. The wind picked up again, carrying that sweet metal smell. And underneath it, whispers. Not words we could understand, just overlapping voices, hungry, pleading, arguing with themselves. Caleb stopped. Do you hear that? We all did. It was our voices, laughing, crying, begging. A chorus of every fear we'd ever voiced, played back in layers. Then the real sound came. A low, cracking moan like ice splitting on a frozen lake, but inside a throat. It rose into a scream that wasn't animal, wasn't human, wasn't anything that should exist. The trees shook snow from their branches. We ran. Derek fell behind first. He was the heaviest, the loudest. We heard him curse, then scream, short, sharp, cut off. We didn't stop. Mara slipped on ice, twisted her ankle. Caleb slung her over his shoulder. We pushed on, lungs burning, legs numb. The thing followed, not crashing through brush like a bear, gliding. We caught glimpses, something pale and impossibly tall moving between trunks, bent forward, arms too long, fingers trailing in the snow. Its head was wrong, too narrow. Antlers? No. Branchies? Bones? It flickered in peripheral vision and vanished when you looked straight on. We reached a frozen creek. The ice looked solid. We crossed. Halfway over, the ice groaned. Not from our weight. From below. Something massive moved under the surface. Dark shadow stretching the length of the creek bed. The ice cracked in a long, lightning bolt line. We threw ourselves to the far bank as the surface shattered. A hand, gray, skeletal, fingers like icicles, burst up, grasping. Miss Mara's boot by inches. We ran again. The cabin was gone. The road was gone. We were lost in white. Night fell fast. We huddled in a thicket, backs to a fallen log, rifle across Caleb's knees. Mara whimpered with every shift of wind. My teeth chattered so hard I tasted blood. Then the whispers again. Closer. Caleb, you're so strong. You could carry them all. Keep them safe inside you. Mara clutched his arm. Don't listen. But his face changed. Eyes glassy. I'm so hungry, he whispered. I stared at him. He stared back and smiled with too many teeth. The thing stepped into the clearing. 8, maybe 9 feet tall, emaciated beyond reason, ribs like barrel staves under translucent skin, every tendon and vein visible. Its chest rose and fell with shallow, rattling breaths. Ice crystals glittered in the cavities where lips should have been. It had chewed them away long ago. Eyes like dying coals, sunken deep. Antler stubs protruded from its skull. Not elegant, but broken, regrown wrong, weeping black fluid. It smelled like every empty winter of my life. It didn't charge. It waited. Caleb stood up slowly. Caleb, no. He looked at me with something like pity. It's okay. I can make it stop hurting. All of us. Mara screamed. He turned the rifle on himself. The shot echoed forever. The thing tilted its head, listening. Then it stepped forward. Mara ran. I ran after her. We didn't get far. She fell. I turned back. It was over her already, bent low, sniffing her hair like a lover. One claw traced her cheek, almost gentle. She looked at me. Go, she mouthed. I couldn't. The thing lifted its head, locked eyes with me, and spoke in my voice. You're next. I ran blind. Hours. Days. I don't know. I woke in a ranger station. Hypothermic. Delirious. They said a snowshoer found me curled under a pine, half buried, muttering about my brother. They never found Caleb, or Mara, or Derek, just blood in strange patterns on the snow. Tracks that started human, then lengthened, narrowed, vanished into nothing. The rangers said bear attack, hypothermia psychosis, grief. I didn't argue, but at night When the wind comes from the north, I still hear it. My brother's voice. My voice. Calling my name. And the hunger. God, the hunger. It never goes away. It only waits. For the next winter. For the next empty belly. For the moment I finally admit how good it would feel just once to stop fighting and eat.